All right. All right, y'all. It's Talk It Out Tuesday. I hope you hear me. It's Talk It Out Tuesday. We got some things that we need to be talking about. I want to tell you happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all my good people. And you know what Tuesday is? Tuesday is it's Talk It Out Tuesday with Tori and MsTONYA. Yeah, Tori gonna be joining me in a very, very short moment. She's gonna be joining me. We got some things that we want to talk about. We kind of miss you all for a little minute. We've been on a little vacation break, just taking a little vacay and doing some things, getting some things done. Things that we need to do as women, as mothers, getting the kids ready for school. I personally got things going on in my house, got renovations and stuff going on. So we got a lot going on. But today we are going to have a thought-provoking conversation as it relates to women, womanhood. I didn't know we had to have this conversation. I really didn't know. There's a whole lot going on in these internet streets, and I feel like there's a larger conversation to have. I think we can have it in a very respectful and mindful way. That is what I want to do. That is what we choose to do. I feel like we can come together and we can honor the incredible essence of womanhood, right? I'm your host here, MsTONYA, the Noontime, My Time podcast. It is Tuesday, Talk It Out Tuesday, and I am deeply grateful to have the opportunity to have this discussion with you. I always want to celebrate us and honor being a woman. I love being a woman. I absolutely do. I do. But today we're going to dive into the unique journey of biological women. Biological women and the sacred gift of life. You hear me? Biological women and the sacred gift of life that they carry within. And at the same time, we can extend and embrace our transgender sisters, recognizing and respecting their identities, as we always have. And we will continue to do that as we are their mothers and their friends. The thing about womanhood is that we're not here to fight with each other. Women are not here to fight with each other. We're not here to fight with men. We're not here to fight with transgenders. We just want to acknowledge to all, to everyone, that we got love for you. And I think it needs to be acknowledged that all of you come from our existence. We bring all of you into life. And that's with whatever identity it is that you identify yourself with. So as we gather here with love today, as we gather here with some empathy, I want us to share a commitment to uplift each other, uplift one another. So let's embrace our individual paths while creating a space that acknowledges the power and the unity of compassion and understanding. But we're going to talk about womanhood. We're going to talk about biological women. There's a lot going on in these internet streets. I know you heard what's going on with Jess Hilarious and what is going on with her and the fight between her and the transgender community, women who are identifying themselves as women. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to have a larger conversation. But before we get so much into the conversation, I want to go ahead and do what we always do when we come here on the Noontime podcast. We got to take a little bit of time for ourselves. We got to take some of that time back. It's lunchtime for some people, but we want this time for us. We want to do a little breath work. Hope y'all ready for it. If you forgot what we do, go ahead and let me let you know. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. And I want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't that feel great? It feels real good, and I hope you guys got that breath work in, because I think you're going to need it for today's conversation. We need to be at a calm, peaceful state of mind, because we're having a calm and peaceful conversation. You have the opportunity to express yourself, so get on in here if you've got something to say about it. It's all in these internet streets. I know you guys have heard about it, but we're going to talk about real women. And let's think about it. The term woman typically refers to an adult human female. In biological terms, women are characterized by having 2 X chromosomes and reproductive anatomy that includes structures like ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, and a vagina. During puberty, women generally experience the development of breasts and the onset of menstruation, which is a regular monthly cycle associated with the release of eggs from the ovaries. It's important to note that while biological sex is determined by the presence of certain physical characteristics and chromosomes, now gender has become a more complex social construct that encompasses the roles of behavior, expectations, and identities associated with being male or female in a particular society. And so we've got a conversation out here going on, and Jess Hilarious made some comments, and there's a lot going on in these internet streets. And I feel like women out here, real women that I know who are having this conversation, we're having a different conversation. So on Talk It Out Tuesday, I'm going to bring my girl in here. You know, we got to bring her in here. Tori, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited for this conversation. And you guys, I got a a little formal throw. They're looking in my face like, who that on that computer? I see the little bubble moving. Who that is? I had to tell them that Miss Tanya, the poet.
Okay. Doing what a mother and what women do, caregivers do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's like, listen, if you don't give me my warm milk, I don't care what you're doing, but give me this warm milk.
How you been, girl? It's been a little minute.
It's been a while, but we've been taking some time off. You had stuff going on, I have stuff going on. But listen, I miss the people. I'm so glad to be back. I miss y'all.
Yeah, me too. I got to be honest. And to tell you the truth, I still got a lot going on. When you are doing home renovations, let me tell you something. You think you're doing one thing, they start working, and other things show up, and it ain't over. The place is still in a mess, in a whole whatever. And so I still got that going on, but I had to come back and we had to get in on this conversation. So, matter of fact, it's been a lot of stuff that's happened since the last time we talked. The last time we talked, we were talking about ladies
Shooting
taking their
shot.
shot.
Yeah. And
Ladies
listen,
shooting their shot.
and the last time we had that conversation, we said that, well, I think we agreed. It was me, you, and another young lady that agreed that we would shoot our shot. Let's just say I followed through and I shot my shot. And let's just say it didn't work out too well.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What, okay. Let me absorb everything you just said. So you shot your shot.
I did.
How did you pew pew? What you do?
I
What
kind of,
you do?
y'all know, the particular person that I was talking about on the last one, a younger gentleman that I was totally ignoring. I went back, spin the block. Now
Mhm.
he's like, oh, so you want to talk to me now? I ain't finna make you talk to me. He's like, you wouldn't talk to me when I want. I ain't want to talk to you now.
He done moved on, girl.
Yeah, he did.
Mm, so, but, as Miss Genesis let us know, when you shoot your shot, you don't just, do it one time. So you ain't gave up on us, have you?
I ain't gonna say that.
Well,
I don't know if I got it in me like Genesis.
you can't just give up. You can't. Now, me personally, Imma just tell y'all the truth. No, I haven't shot any shots, and to be honest, because I haven't had time, and
Yeah.
I don't have a target. I don't have a target right
Yeah.
now. Not really. And like I told you guys a little bit before, I'm not opposed to it. I just got
Yeah.
to find a space. I don't feel like it would be fair for me to do that and not really have the time to deal with the person, to engage with them, and to honestly put an effort into getting to know someone right now. I'm just not there. I got too much going on. But we did have a time frame. It was a few months that we said we were gonna do it. So I don't know what might happen
Yeah.
within the next couple months. So I'm not saying I'm not doing it, but right now, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But everything also, we'll touch a little bit on this since the last time we talked. That whole thing with, what was that girl's name? The girl who had to
Carly.
disappear to be seen.
Carly.
Yeah. So
Carly Russell.
right. Seemed like she done got arrested. Seemed like she done got arrested, so y'all should pretty much know what's going on with that. That was a whole lot. Wasn't that crazy?
It was. It was.
I
I
mean,
was out here. I was out here praying real prayers, and I was out here really worried. I actually lost sleep because of that. I was like, "Oh my goodness! I hope they find her." And then when they reported that she was found safe, I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then when the story started to unfold, I was like, "Oh God, it
yeah,
wasn't good." Because
that
I have a friend of mine that I went to school with. He's been missing since February, and it's like he didn't get that type of coverage, and we still don't know where he is, whether
oh,
he's dead or
wow.
alive, or so stuff like that. It kind of is. It was disheartening because you got all these people got all this worried about you, and it was terrible. I was a
And
little upset. I'm not gonna lie, I was, because
yeah,
there's people that's out here really missing.
right. Right, right,
So
right, right. I mean, everyone was upset with that. It was a lot of
yeah,
people who, they saw through the BS, and a lot of people, they was like, "Wait a minute, this is not adding up." But,
yeah,
it's become
yeah,
what it's become, and we are where we are now, so she's gonna have to deal with that how it
yeah.
comes at this point, she and her family, you know?
Yeah, but I wouldn't
But
go as far as some people that like they want to take back their prayer. I ain't gonna do all that now because my prayers came from a pure place. I ain't gonna be all. I'm gonna take. No, I ain't doing all that.
You said something that was very key just now. You was like, "Your prayer came from a pure place, so you're not doing all that." You're right, because if you really are the type of person who went in prayer sincerely, then, you might be a little disappointed with how it turned out and
Yeah,
disappointed with her actions, but like you say, your prayer came from a pure place. That's who you are, and you really did hope for the best.
yeah, yeah. I
Well,
did.
girl, it's Talk
Yes,
It Out
ma'am.
Tuesday.
Let's talk it out.
You know what's going on in these streets as it relates to us, as it relates to women. There's
Mm.
being so many titles put in front of woman now until, it could be a little bit, confusing for some. I don't
Right.
know necessarily that it's confusing for me or confusing for us, but I feel like it's a conversation that we can have, and I want us to have this conversation in a constructive way, and as people come in and join us in a conversation, I hope that they do that. I see we got somebody already who's joined us in the chat. Who we got here?
What's up, Will? At your service, media. Let's talk it out. Happy August. Happy August. Yeah, that is right. It's a new month. It's a fresh month.
It is.
And
Happy
it's actually a
August.
friend of mine, Miss Wanda Govan's birthday. My sister, happy birthday to you, girl.
Happy birthday. Give her some birthday love. Some birthday love going out. Anybody who's celebrating a birthday today or this week, if y'all want to go ahead and put in the chat and tell them happy birthday, go ahead and put it in there and we'll make sure that we shout that out throughout the show. Those of you who are watching us, make sure that you like and you comment on this. Keep us up in this algorithm. Keep us in this conversation. Now let's talk about Just Hilarious. Or you know what? Let's let Jess say what she say, and then we'll talk about it. How about that?
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Who the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your face. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We're the only one that can bleed, honey. We're the only ones that can give birth. We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never, ever get. You'll never be that.
She said what she said.
And yeah. And she right.
She said what she said. And there seems to be a whole back and forth going on online. And I really want the direction of that to change. I don't know necessarily that it is as volatile as it seems like it is online in the real world for us. But I do know that this is not a place that we need to go. I think it is important for transgender women to be very careful as they tread this territory because we're there for them. We have been for them. And I know that we will continue to be. We've been their friends. We are their mothers, their sisters. You know what I'm saying? So just having been advocates for them, it seems a little bit of betrayal, a little bit, when they're going off in these ways that I see are happening in these internet streets right now. I don't know what your thoughts are or where you sit with it. So talk to me. Let's talk this thing out.
It's, to me, just like Jess said, we were born. You can pretend to be something, but you'll never be us. We are the original. You cannot have babies, just like you cannot have a menstrual cycle. And I don't have a problem. People have to live their life how they want to, but you're not gonna come for the original women that were born women. You're not gonna do that. Where they do that at? That's crazy to me.
I don't know. And I get what you're saying, and the language gets so incredibly tricky when we're doing our best to be respectful, because that's very much what I'm attempting to do here. And that's the best that we can do, because gender identity is deeply personal. Okay? That's deeply personal, and that's a person's sense of self. So I know that I can't tell a person how to feel, and I'm not here to tell a person who they are and who they are not.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But we cannot necessarily just term and give new identification to biological women. Like,
Right.
I was a little confused when I was hearing, I don't know about yourself, but I had to look it up because I didn't know. I was not aware of this cisgender or cis woman that I'm hearing a lot about. I'm like, where did that came from? What does that mean? And who made the decision to begin calling us that? I didn't vote for that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't identify as that.
I don't know. I just didn't know where the term came from, so I had to look it up. So I found out that the use of the term cisgender was to let's see, it's a Latin term actually, cis it is, which means on the side of, right? And it was
Mhm.
introduced into, this whole identity alignment that we've got going on. I'm treading here kind of carefully within respectful boundaries as I can, and basically is saying that a way of describing individuals whose gender identity aligns with the sex that they were assigned at birth. Okay, so that's in contrast to transgender individuals who have a gender identity that differs from their sex at birth, and that's why they're transgender. So the use of the term cisgender, how it's being used, is to help acknowledge the vast majority of people who identify with the gender that they were assigned with at birth, and that's where that came from. Now, I'm trying to figure out if that's necessary. Why are we using the term cisgender women to acknowledge women who identify themselves as women from birth? From their assigned female sex at birth. I don't know why that has become necessary. If transgender women, and I think that is enough identification when you say transgender women, I think that makes it clear. I think it clearly makes it clear that they're not women who were biologically born at birth as women. That was a lot.
Yeah, it
I
was.
see we got some comments coming through.
Genesis says they have gone. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
She says cisgender is your gender at birth. And one before that, she said they've gone too far. I'm not there for the degradation of us cis women.
yeah, and even in her comment, as we see Genesis make, she said, "I'm not here for the degradation of us cis women." She's even using it. She's using it, and I'm trying to understand, like, is that what we're doing now?
Right. There's so many terms. I'm confused. I'm like, what? What is that? Like Miss Gloria, she said, hello. Hey, Miss Gloria, she said, hello, happy August. I was confused about the term non-binary. I hear it on the news this morning, so I had to Google it. Now, that one blew me away. I'm like, non-binary, what?
That's
That
and
one,
and that's a whole nother conversation if we get into that.
I was
I
like,
mean,
what?
because it is, but I mean, there's a lot of terms. There's a lot of terms and there's a lot of letters. But there's also a lot of love. I mean, they've got this LGBTQ. I'm not sure if I'm leaving anything out. But what I do know is
Mm-hmm.
that we as women, real women, we
Mm-hmm.
are the mothers. We are, Jess had a certain passion with what she was saying and with the message that she delivered, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I can't say that she was wrong. I
No, she
really
wasn't
can't.
wrong. She wasn't wrong.
And she was responding to a transgender woman who made a statement about women can't, she says, cis women can't gatekeep having periods, menstrual cycles. Now, I do not even understand that. I almost feel like, that's not even an argument. I don't even know most women who would get into any type of argument about that, because the average woman, we know what our cycle is for. It's for the cycle of life. And then that monthly cycle is something that most women want to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know what has happened. I really don't. I wanna know what some of you all feel, do you feel like in the real world, outside of what they're talking about here in the internet, because they're really going back and forth, do you feel like that problem exists out here in these real streets versus the internet streets?
Not for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
I can't answer that. I'm not having that conversation. That's the internet going back haywire. I'm not having those
Yeah.
type of conversations in the real world.
Hmm.
I worry about real issues and trying to be positive and all of that stuff. Genesis says, I'm not using it. I use cis because the trans women are so offended we have ovaries. They are attacking us. There's another gay man that said real women would not flourish if for not gay men. What?
I don't even understand that. Like, I don't even know what that means, to be honest.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
I really am concerned. I don't know what that means.
Wow.
I don't. I'm trying to dissect that. She said that a gay man said real women would not flourish if not for gay men. I don't even know what that means. I'm a little confused by that, and that maybe you can help me out here because I don't get it.
And then she says, Genesis says, Miss Tanya, she was a fake woman that said we aren't the gatekeepers.
Oh, okay. So yeah, well, you're gonna have to help me out because when you said a gay man, I thought you meant a gay man and not a transgender woman. See, it gets a little confusing. It does. But you understand what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm lost there. Okay, I'm back. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I don't want to get into what a person identifies themselves as. I don't, because that is way too complex. But what I do know is that as a woman, as a real woman, as a biological woman, as a woman who has, like I said, I'm here with my bald head, but I got a womb. You understand? We can have women out here who may display more of their masculine tendencies and sides of their personalities, but we must understand that masculinity and femininity does not have anything to do with gender because both genders are going to have and express those traits at different points in their life and in different moments and situations. So I say that to say that as a woman, with the parts, with the womb, as a mother, and you don't have to actually give birth. You don't have to give birth through your womb to be a real woman, but you definitely have to have the womb to be a real woman. Is this conversation getting confusing or what? Or is it just me?
It's confusing. And Genesis says, he said our makeup or style that women go to gays. So they're saying basically we get our style, our makeup and style from the gay men. Is that what you're saying, Genesis?
That is what she's saying. Well, in the fashion industry and within that industry, a lot of time it does happen. Okay, these men, some of the men, because I personally know lots of female, hairstylists and makeup artists. And in a lot of ways, if we think about, let me put that comment back up. If we think about this in a real way here, right? Now, it is unfortunate that some women are taking to some of the styles of what a lot of the transgender women are doing in terms of their style, but you don't have to. And let me say this. Let me say this for all of my real women out here, my real sisters out here. We wake up like this. So let's take the hair, let's take the makeup, let's take the BBLs, let's take the breast plants, let's take all of that off of the table and let everybody wake up natural with nothing on, no lashes, no makeup, no lips, none of that stuff. Let us all wake up how we wake up and let me know how you look.
Uh-oh, let me
Hey,
mute.
baby. We got the baby in the house and you got to let me know how you look. You understand me? Yeah. A lot of women are wearing the lashes, they're wearing the bundles, the hair. That's fine. That's fine. A lot of them feel like they've got to have the BBLs. Okay, that's fine. But a lot of these parts are being purchased. Our parts aren't purchased. They're natural. They're real. They don't have to be big. We come in all shapes, hues, and sizes. And we realize that they like it, and we realize that those are things that they want to emulate. But one thing that you can't buy ovaries. You can't buy a uterus or fallopian tubes. You can't buy a womb. You can't, they might put something together and kind of make something up, but you can't buy a vagina either. You can't do that. And you can't buy respect. You got to have it. I just do not understand why we are here. I would like to see us leave this and get away from this. It's unnecessary. This is a very unnecessary conversation. I feel like the women who are involved in this, the transgender women who are so vocal and are so being so insistent upon being against women, I feel like you're disrespecting your mothers. How did you get here? You're disrespecting your sisters. You're disrespecting some of your very first friends. A lot of gay people, some of their very closest friends have been girls. You know it. We've accepted you. We allow you to be who you are, and we allow you to be who you are all the way up to the point that you want to come and disrespect us and tell us that we cannot gatekeep periods. That's utterly ridiculous. That is not a conversation we should be having. With so many things that are going on that are dangerous in the transgender world, we are worried about you too. It is dangerous out here for you. You need all of the allies that you can have and that you can get. And women are that for you. Real women are that for you. You should not be offended by us being who we are, because we are not offended by you being who you are. I don't need you to put cis in front of my woman. I don't need that. Now you have transgender in front of yours because you need that. I think you should be honest. You should be open with who you are when you approach people in relationships. So I feel like that is fair. That is not categorizing you in a negative way. That is respecting who you have identified yourself as. And it is being fair with the people that you are in relationship with by announcing that. But don't do this. This is not right. This is really ridiculous.
And Genesis says Santana is the gay artist that apologized for saying real women, copy drag, and trans women. I don't even know who Santana is.
I don't either.
I'm going to Google it.
I will. There's much that I don't know,
Yeah.
but I just feel like it's disrespectful.
And Genesis also says Flame is a transgender comedian. She's the one that did Stand Up with Tiffany Haddish. She has a trans said to the other fake woman she would never replace a real woman. The conversation started because the fake woman says she wants a period. Flame says she went too far, so she said real women aren't the gatekeepers of the period. Flame told her she was emotional. That's not a vagina, it's a sore. Go get your penis back, mister.
Oh my God. Wow.
Ooh.
And see, you see, now I do know who Flame is. I know Flame, and I really like Flame as well. And you see how that conversation is exploding? There's a whole lot of emotion going on there. There's a whole lot of bitterness in there.
Right. I don't know who Flame is either.
Yeah, I know Flame is a comedian who is also, I don't know if he's transgender or cross-dress. I'm not so sure, but I feel like Flame considers herself transgender, but I really respect what Flame has had to say in respect to saying that, that's not right. You can't have a period, and you shouldn't be trying to, why are you even in that conversation? Like who wants to even have a period? We have it out of necessity.
Right.
As real women, as real girls.
Right.
Okay? That's not something.
Listen, we still mad at Eve for eating that apple.
I mean, go through menopause. Okay? Listen, there are things that women endure.
Mm-hmm.
That we always endure that you just will not. And that's just how it is. That's just a part of life. There's just some things that you do not get to change. Like, for instance, if you want to change something, like you see how hot this sun is shining up here in the sky. Now, you might be upset about it, and you can decide like, hey, I don't want it to be this hot. I'm going to turn this in. I'm going to call this the moon. You can call it what you want. But when
Right.
it's 12 o'clock noon and it's beaming down, ain't nothing you can do about that. Say what you
Right.
want.
Right.
Say what you want. But I don't like it. I do not like this because
Right.
if you are a woman and you've told me that you want to be called a woman, and I respect your identity enough to call you that, just like your name could be whatever your name is. You might have a nickname. You say, call me Coco. And I respect you enough to call you Coco. Allow me to walk in my respect without you disrespecting me. You know that you are a woman who have to tuck. We don't have penises. We don't. We're not tucking anything. We're not tucking anything. We're not cutting anything off. So do you see where the real is?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's too much.
it
It's
is.
too much. It really is.
Absolutely. You understand? It is.
Yep.
It is. And it's dangerous. Like I said, it's just a dangerous path to walk. Trans women are going through so much. They're living in a society that is vastly violent to them. And I don't like that either. And with all of that going on, I can't. They know what's going on. Why would you choose to have a fight with women when this is your safety zone? This is your girlfriend. This is your mother. This is your aunt, your sisters. Now, there are going to be some people in your family and your friends who have hurt you and who do not accept you. That's a family issue. That's a family issue that biological women have as well. Biological women have friends and families and sometimes mothers and people who do not accept their ideas and their lifestyle the way they want to live. But you guys got to stop this. You're getting ready to make it very difficult for the LGBTQ community on a whole. You're putting a divide there when you were trying to have some type of unity. And the people who were very much against it, you're making them look right. You really are. You need to explore your feelings. You need to be careful with some of the things that you were saying out here in these internet streets. We know that there is social media. We know that everybody has a platform. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has a mic, a camera, and we have some freedoms of speech. But I think you need to use that freedom very carefully. You might say something in an emotion and not even know what the fuck you're talking about. That made absolutely no sense. None. You do not have a period. I do understand the passion that just hilarious how she ended up delivering that. I do. And I'm not of this cancel culture to say that she should be canceled for what she said. If anybody out there feels that way, then you feel that way. But I support her. I support us. We support you. But you got to stop with some of this stuff. You're going too far.
Genesis says, have you noticed the absence of the trans men that used to be women? It's the angry men. Ooh. And she also says, I support her. Talking
Yeah,
about just hilarious. Yeah.
because she's right.
Yeah.
Um,
She said
and,
what she
and
said
you
what
know,
she said.
she said what she said, and she was right. And you know what I would like to say, just like Flame has come and supported Jess. I feel like there needs to be more transgender women and more people in the LGBT community who come out in support of Jess. Why? Because she's not wrong. She wasn't wrong. And when someone in your community is wrong, you got to be able to call them out. You got to be able to call them out. You got to be like, you know what? What you said was a little off track. That wasn't cool. You need to just step away from that. That's not our fight. There's too much going on for us, and we're trying to live in this place peaceful, and you go and say something like that. Where are they? I don't know. It's crazy. We can take the conversation to something else, or we need to take the conversation to something else, because to be honest, it's pretty cut and dry with me. It really is. We know what a woman is. We know what a woman is biologically. You won't be able to change that. In biological terms, women have those 2 X chromosomes. You don't have them. Real women have those ovaries and fallopian tubes, uterus and vagina. You don't have them. You have a penis that you're tucking. We don't have penises. We go through puberty where we develop breasts. Now, some women enhance theirs, but largely, we're not buying them. We have a cycle, a menstruation cycle, monthly, associated with the release of eggs from our ovary, because that is the process of life, a part of that process in which you came into life. You can't do that. You can't buy that. You can't identify with that. You cannot identify with ovaries. You will not identify with a fallopian tube. You won't identify with a vagina or a uterus. You won't identify with giving birth. You won't do it. The structure of your body, your hips are not wide enough to even do that and go through that process. You couldn't do it. You're not biologically structured to do it. And I know science and these doctors are allowing certain things and giving operations and making people feel like they can do whatever they want to do. But if you think that you can have a baby somehow scientifically put inside of your body, I'm going to tell you something. You have to find out something totally different. That's not how it works. Your body's not going to accept that. Women bring forth life. And it doesn't mean that you can't be a part of bringing forth life, because you do have a penis and you have sperm that can be a part of that transaction, be a part of that. But don't come for real women. Don't come for the real women who have birthed all of you, who have been loving and supporting all of you, and who will honestly continue to do that. Because that's who we are. We will politely, in the most lovingly, motherly, and friendly way, and respectful way, some of us, support you. But you got to stop taking this thing too far. It's really, really getting out of hand. You're not factual, and you're not being honest with yourself. You've decided who you'd like to be. You've identified and made it clear to us how you would like to be identified. We do that. But there's some things that you're just going to have to be honest with about yourself. And there's some things that you will not ever be able to do. You cannot do it. It is not biologically possible. That is not how life was designed. And you have to be okay with that. You really do. You can express yourself. Express yourself. Love yourself. But it's important to be real with yourself. Be real, and do not drive a wedge between yourself and real women. We're always going to be there for you. Don't do this.
Kimberly says, I agree with Jess from the Jump Street. She used the word delusion because that's what it is. Flame drives a strong point. She once said, we fought so hard to get respect. We've gotten that, and now y'all gone too far with it.
Exactly. I didn't know flames. Exactly. And that's the bottom line. You're just going too far. And sometimes we can go too far with things.
And Genesis says, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna. I'm saying in vogue. That's how I've read it.
Woo, 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 woo. You understand me? Okay. Yeah.
Woo, that's funny.
I mean, but it is true. It's true.
I'm
know?
laughing at myself how I read her comment like in vogue.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's where I felt the same felt the same way. The thing about it is gender identity is deeply personal. That's a personal aspect of a person's sense of self, okay? Now, that may not necessarily align with their biological sex,
Right.
and that's okay. That is really okay. Understanding and respecting the diversity of gender identities and expressions at this point with where we are, I feel like that's essential in our society right now for us to be inclusive, for us to
Mhm.
give love to people who have been struggling with so much, you know? So it's crucial for
Right.
us to recognize that gender identity is not solely determined by biology, but it
Mhm.
is influenced by a complex, interplay of biological and psychological and social factors. We gotta factor all that in, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And we always have. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think there's any real woman who does not remember or who does not have a dear friend who identifies themselves as gay or who is within the LGBT community. You just don't. There's always been that. We've always known that, right?
Mhm. Right. I'm looking at the 4-month-old looking at the camera still. And Genesis says it was in vogue. He was actually falling asleep and then he looked like what? Eh.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
something. Every term that people want to be identified with, I'm gonna acknowledge it. I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with that. I really don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't have any problems with that. But I do have a problem with you giving me a term of identity.
Right. Right.
You're not getting ready to call me cis woman. I'm not that.
Right. Right.
I'm not
Right.
that. I don't because I don't feel like in terms of what it now, I'm not being ignorant here. Because in terms of what the definition is and what it stands for, I get it. But I also wanna say that it's just not necessary. I would not like it, and I would not prefer it. So,
Right.
if we have transgenders who want to be identified in a particular way, and I'm able to respect that, I would like to have that same respect, and I would not like to be called a cis woman. I am a woman. Be clear with that. Be comfortable with that, because I am not harming you in any way with identifying myself with who I am and how I was assigned at birth and the importance that may or may not be to me, but this is how I identify. So let's stay there. You identify yourself and now you want to identify everybody else. Come on now. Stay in your lane.
And Genesis says, I think we Black women have to take responsibility for this because we accept our friends that couldn't be themselves at home or we confided in them about our men. Mm.
Help me understand what you're saying here, sis, because I'm a little confused. You say, I think we as Black women have to take some responsibility for this because we accept our friends that couldn't be themselves at home, or we confided in them about our men. I'm a little confused with that because I feel like that's what being a friend is. I feel like we're supposed to be a friend to someone when they don't have someone to confide in and they're hurting in some type of way and they need to talk to someone. I think that's what being a friend is. So I'm not getting ready to feel bad for that. But what I do want to say is that like I said, you can't come and identify me because you've re-identified yourself. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know about that one. But let me know exactly what you mean. If I'm misinterpreting it, I could be.
And Kimberly says, well, I just found out what the cisgender meant and I was dumbfounded by it. And now, knowing what it means, I'm equally dumbfounded because what in the entire bleep warrants needing another identity as a female born a female? Make it make sense or leave me out of it. I feel the same way. Make it make sense. Like, we're a woman, point blank, period. End of discussion. No debate.
And that's what I'm saying.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Make it make sense. There's no need to do that. We know who women are. We've always known what a woman was. It is the introduction of trans women that made something a little bit different. Put trans in front of woman if you like to, if that's who you are and if that is how you identify. We're going to respectfully do that. But nothing else needs to be in front of woman. Nothing. Nothing. You know? I don't know. Crazy, man, crazy. People just keep, you hear my phone keep going off?
Yeah.
People calling me, yeah, just disrespect. Like, I do this at the same time. But, you know, hey, I have been on a little vacation lately, so maybe people say, hey, let me call her.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tori. I don't know. I feel like we've had the conversation. I don't know what Genesis talking about here.
Genesis said, not feeling bad. I think we made them comfortable exploring. We as friends didn't criticize them. Maybe our male friends were like, you always around punks. We defended them from the inception. Now they're turning on their allies as a whole. Okay.
Ah, okay. Wow. That's deep. That's deep because I'm going to tell you something. I was already feeling a type of way with what's going on in these internet streets, how everything becomes men versus women. Like,
Yeah.
you know how heavy that is in these internet streets? It's like everything, no matter what we do, it becomes a debate about men versus women, men versus women. And technically, if we think about this, this is the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we fighting with each other?
Right.
Why are we doing this?
Right.
Why are we doing this? So I feel like, and this isn't our fight, because I'm not fighting with anyone. I just wanted to have the conversation. Like, I know among my real women girlfriends, we're not having these we know who we are. We really
Right.
do find this to be a little I don't think anyone's necessarily offended. We just find it a little ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
almost laughable. I don't know anyone necessarily that is really too upset because, like, really, sis, you get ready to have an argument with us about periods. Really?
Right.
This is a conversation that you really shouldn't, couldn't, and will never be able to be in. Maybe
Right.
the tone in which Jess delivered it upset you. Maybe.
Right.
But it still shouldn't have, because you were really speaking out of the side of your neck.
Right.
Really. Ladies, let's do better. Let's do better. We respecting y'all. We've been on your side. You need allies. There's a lot of danger out in these streets for you, girl. You know that there are. You know it.
Yeah.
And we don't think it's right. And we won't be supporting that. But if you get rid of the real friends that you have, I don't know what's going to happen to you. I don't.
Right. Right.
And what I want to say to the transgender women who are so respectfully being honest and saying that, you know, that statement was out of pocket in respect to saying that real women can be the gatekeepers of periods, as if that is something that we want to gatekeep.
Right.
The
Right.
period is a part of us. It gatekeeps us.
Yeah, it
You
does.
understand me? We're not gatekeeping periods. We're not gatekeeping our menstrual cycle. Our menstrual cycles gatekeep us. And it's a good thing that our menstrual cycle gatekeeps us because we're able to continue to bring life. We're able to continue to bring you. Because if it was left up to us as real women, let me tell you something. We do away with periods.
Right.
It's not the most comfortable thing to deal with. And
Right.
particularly in those young times as a younger girl, as you grow into that, there's many things that women go through with our bodies and with these particular sex organs that we have that you have no idea that we deal with. And see, that's why you were so easy. It was so easy for you to make that statement because you don't know that pain. You don't know the discomfort. You don't know the inconvenience. You don't know any of that. That's why you were so able and so easily to make that ridiculous statement. It was really ridiculous. I really hope that you will reevaluate what you said. I hope you will be able to reevaluate it and understand that sometimes we say things that are just wrong. You were wrong.
Right.
Be willing to admit it. We're all wrong about things sometimes. And we will continue to be, but we still have to be big enough to admit it. We got to be able to know what fights are worth fighting and what things are worth leaving alone. Leave this one alone, transgender women. Leave this one alone. It's not worth it. I promise you it's not worth it to you. And it makes no sense. You're making yourself look ridiculous.
Genesis says, Miss Tanya, this is big. We actually have transgender women giving advice on women, on panels giving information as informed women, and they are out of place trying to replace us. That's very true.
It's
Very
out here. It's out here. Like everybody has the opportunity to have opinions. They do. And I don't mind them having their opinions. But we know what we're listening to and we know what experiences we really have. Like I said, if it comes down to it, I want everybody to just take off the lashes, take off the hair, take off the makeup, take it all off. Show me how you wake up. And let's stand beside each other. You want to, you know, they're very quick to say, well, we're looking better than y'all. Y'all jealous of us. Why don't you put on a little makeup? Well, guess what? We don't have to put on makeup to be a woman. We don't have to put on hair to be a woman. We don't have to have a big ass or big breasts or any of that stuff to be a woman. The things that make us a woman are the things that you cannot buy. That is it. All of the things that you cannot buy that make us real women. Okay? How we wake up. That's it, sis. That's it.
Les says, we as Black folk, the only ones who try to save and ally with and be nice to every group. Maybe we should look at ourselves. I'm going to leave it at that.
You know what? You're so right, Les. You're right. And see, and I'm walking that fence right now of being an ally. But I can't help it. It's because I'm a real woman. It's because women have a nurture in nature. You know, we have that type of, that's in us. Women care. We have babies. Some of our children are finding themselves in these positions. So, yeah, I get it. We're caring. We're nurturers. I don't know what to do about that. That's a part of being a woman too, you know? A part of that emotional thing. You guys think that we're too emotional. We got too many feelings. Well, yeah, we do. I know. I would love not to be an ally with most people. I would love that, but it's not naturally in me. Sometimes I get upset. sometimes I get angry about certain things, but that mother nurture nature in me, that's a part of being a real woman, man. I can't get rid of that. What do you think about that, Tori?
I agree with everything you're saying. We're real women, and there's nothing else. And I agree with what Les is saying as well. That's just who we are. Because I know I'm like that naturally. Because I actually had someone to say to me that, did I dislike them because of their lifestyle? I say, no, I don't dislike you because of that. That's who you are. You identify with what you identify with. I identify with what I would identify with. That's not gonna make me love you any less. But the stuff that's going on with this is it's just too much. It's just too much. And Les also says some groups openly don't want allies, and that is true as well. That's
Yeah,
very true.
I get it. Let me tell you something. I would just love to say fuck everybody who's not like me. I would love to say that, but I can't. And I also see the disadvantage of sometimes trying to support people. I think this situation is very much a clear indication of why it can be dangerous being allies. So you're very right. I hear what you're saying. You're not wrong at all.
And Genesis says, but what if you don't know that it's a trans woman advising you? A lot of times I can tell.
Yeah, a lot of times you can. Well, that's going to be, when you're taking advice from a person, and depending upon what that particular advice is, um, that's just going to be something individual. You be careful out here in these streets. Be careful. You got to ask questions and see birth certificates. You got to look at people with the lights on, unroll.
Right.
Okay, don't be doing stuff in the dark. At least not the first time. Okay, let's take it all off. Okay, get in the shower with somebody. You understand me? If you want to know, there's ways to find out. Now, in terms, and I know you're talking about, when different people are on panels and having these conversations. Well, I think there's some things that are life conversations that people can have from a male or a female perspective. So in that vein, I feel pretty open about that. You can take the advice, you cannot take the advice. If you can relate to it, you can relate to it. If you can relate to some advice, whether it comes from a male or a female, then I feel like that's advice you can relate to. My biggest thing in this particular situation is just, I felt like this has gone too far, and I feel like not for us as real women, we're in no danger for this, but I feel like transgender women are putting themselves in danger with where they're going with this. I see Genesis says, Les Eccles, that's what I was saying. And I think that goes back to, what is it? Some groups, excuse me, some groups openly don't want allies. That's what Les was saying. I hear you. I hear you. Genesis also says the forum was trans women advising a group of teens about abortion and abortion's right. How can you tell me you're not a woman? Well, I feel like we need to really be vetting out the people that we have on panels. I feel like that's important. And that's really all I can say about that. Because the same way that you're saying trans women are advising groups about abortion and abortion rights, you got to look at the fact that it was actual heterosexual men, old white heterosexual men making decisions and laws as it relates to, as it relates to abortion and abortion rights. So we've got men who are making opinions about that. So if men are making opinions about it, quite obviously, transgender women can make opinions about it. We can. Everything, like I said, everything seems to be this men versus women, men versus women. This is not very much different in a lot of ways. It really isn't. But it needs to change. And we can do better. It's been over an hour, Tori. Tori must be doing something with the baby. Let me
I got the baby. The baby got my attention, so that's why I had you on was on mute.
That's okay.
The baby like, listen, I need your attention. Get off that, whatever you doing.
We get ready to get off. But guess what?
Right.
This is what we do as women.
Yes, this is true. This is true.
Sometimes we gotta do stuff and take care of the baby at the same time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, look here now. Look here. But yeah, this was a great conversation. And Genesis says, and now some of them have dresses on.
I mean,
wow.
That's cool, because the clothing that you wear, that's not getting ready to be. I mean, we as women, we wear pants, we wear suits. I've worn tuxedos before, so I don't really want to get so much into garments. We're just gonna take it back to the real of the real, and we know what that is. You don't have those 2 X chromosomes. You don't have them ovaries. You don't have that uterus, vagina, or fallopian tubes. You don't have that cycle. And as you said, Genesis, you're never gonna get it. You're never gonna get it. All right, Tori, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get off this conversation, and we're gonna just wish love and peace and happiness to the people who can accept it. And if you can't, you just can't.
Right. So this has been a great conversation. We as real women, we are real women. You can't do what we do, but we respect you though, and we're gonna nurture you though, but you're not us. We cannot be duplicated. We are the originals. And with that being said, it's been fun. We're gonna do it again. And thank you all for tuning in and with the comments. Y'all, I love how y'all interact. I love it. And happy Tuesday. Happy first of the month, August. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm praying. Listen, I'm claiming blessings for all of us for the month of August. Blessings on top of blessings. Peace out, y'all. It's been real.
All right, lady. All right, y'all. We had the conversation, and I think it's a conversation to be had. We can have it in a better way. We really can. I like everybody who took the time to comment with us, to make yourself a part of the conversation. I'm just going to extend my love and respect to everybody. To my real women out here, love and respect to you always. I feel you, girl. Love and respect to our transgender women. We recognize your courage, your strength, everything that you are doing here in your self-discovery and affirmation. We feel you. Let's do better. We don't have to fight each other. We ain't here to fight with none of y'all. None of you. We still gonna be loving. We still got to give birth to you. People get to make decisions after they're born. But we having you, the real women. That's what we doing. All right? This was the 101 episode of the Noontime My Time podcast, Talk It Out Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you're watching this on a replay, still leave a comment. Let us know you watched on a replay. Like, comment, and subscribe to MsTONYA TV. I got nothing but love for you people. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. Yep. And what we going to do before we get out of here, because this conversation was a little heavy. It was. So we're going to breathe on out of here. Y'all ready for it? Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Well, don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. Right? Y'all be great out here. It's what we do. One love, y'all.